All of you, welcome back to live online webinar classes for intermediate students. Myself, I am Z Nagamani, JL in Zoology, Tsrjc, Wyra, Khammam district. Then next we will enter into the our next phylum in the our animal diversity 1. Here we will already discussed about the what are the invertebrates and what are the vertebrates in our previous class. But for your better understanding, I will recall this matter. Okay, here what are the invertebrates? Invertebrate means here they did not have any vertebral column. Okay, they did not have vertebral column or backbone. The type of organisms are called as the invertebrates. Okay, but what about of vertebrates? Here, vertebrates are having the vertebral column, means they have the spinal cord. Okay, here the next we will enter into the another phylum after successful completion of the Nematihelminthes. We will enter into the phylum Annelida. What is that, students? Phylum Annelida. What about of Annelida? Why we are called as the type of organisms are annelids? Means mostly these annelids are the segmented worms. What is that, students? Segmented worms. Segmented means body is divided into different compartments. Okay, more than one or more than 30, more than 100, like that. The segmented body type organisms all are included in this phylum Annelida. Okay, all of you look into this picture. These all are belonging to the Annelida phylum. These are the Nereis and earthworm, like the different organisms are presented in the Annelida phylum. These are the segmented worms. Okay, the next. The phylum Annelida. The term Annelida was coined by the Lamarck. Who is his students? Lamarck. The term Annelida was coined by Lamarck. Annelida means what? The little ring-like structure. What is that? Little ring-like structure. The type of organisms are all undergoes the phylum Annelida, and they have a segmented body. What is the, students? Segmented body. We already discussed. Okay, the next 15,000 of these species around the world undergoes this phylum Annelida. How many species, students? 15,000 of species. Okay, they show the worldwide distribution. Worldwide distribution means here this type of annelid organisms are not only presented in a particular one place. Okay, they are distributed in the worldwide. Okay, worldwide distribution. And then they have a soft body. Okay, which type of body we will observe? Soft body for the annelid phylum. Okay, the next. Where do annelids live? Okay, this is nothing but the habitat of the annelids. Where these organisms are live means they live in the salt water. Where salt water means marine forms. They are live in the which one? Oceans. Okay, so example, bristle worms. What are the, students? Bristle worms are the example for salt water habitat. Next, they are also live in the fresh water. Which one? Fresh water. So, example, leeches. And they also related to the terrestrial habitat. Students, terrestrial habitat means what? The land organisms. For example, earthworms. What is that? Earthworms means here annelid organisms are both aquatic and terrestrial. Means aquatic means both land and fresh water, and also the land means terrestrial habitat. Okay, these organisms are belonging to the those habitats. Next, what are the the characteristic features of the major characteristic features of the phylum Annelida? Here we already discussed the segmented body is presented in the phylum Annelida. Which type of body? Segmented body. Means body is divided into segments. Okay. Okay, I will show here. Here, for example, this is the one organism of Annelida. Here it is separated by a segments like this one. First segment, second segment, third segment, fourth segment, fifth segments like that. Segmented body we observe. Okay. The next, they have elongated and segmented body. Their segments are complete. What is that? Which type of word I can use? Complete. Why, teacher? Why you are using this word? Means here complete means in the previous chapters we learned the Platyhelminthes phylum. Here we observe the incomplete segmentation. Which type of segmentation? Incomplete segmentation means the segments are not externally and internally. But in the phylum of Annelida, here segments are presented externally as well as internally. So here the type of segmentation is called as the metamerism. What is that, students? Metamerism. Very, very important. Okay. Metamerism. This is the 2 marks question which is very important for our IPE. What is metamerism? I again repeat, the true segments which are presented externally as well as internally by the segmented body. The type of characteristic feature is called as the metamerism. But in the case of Platyhelminthes, we can observe the pseudo-metamerism. That is the difference between this Annelidal metamerism and the type of pseudo-metamerism. Don't confuse about that. It is a simple one. The next, the symmetry. Symmetry means what? We already learned in our second chapter. What is symmetry? Symmetry means the body organization. What is that? The body organization which is when we are cutting to the body from this posterior region to anterior region or anterior to posterior, it will be divided into 2 equal parts. What is that, students? 2 equal parts. They have bilaterally symmetrical body. Which type of body? Bilaterally symmetrical body means we can cut the body from anterior to posterior in 2 equal parts. How many equal parts? 2 equal parts. The type of symmetry is called as a bilaterally symmetrical body we observe in these annelidal organisms. Okay. The next, these annelidal organisms are the triploblastic. What is that? This is also important in our basic zoology terminology. Okay, what is the triploblastic? Here we also learned the diploblastic organisms in our previous sessions. What we learned means in the diploblastic session, we observe that only 2 germinal layers are presented around the body. Means body organs are developed from only 2 germinal layers. What are that layer? Means ectoder and endoder. Outer ectoder and inner endoder. But in the case of triploblastic, we observe the germinal layers. How many germinal layers? These layers. They are the outer ectoder, middle mesoder, and inner endoder. We observe in this picture easily. This is the outer ectoder and inner endoder and middle one mesoder. Okay, these are the triploblastic organization we observe in the annelidal organisms. Okay, the next, the coelom. What is the, students? Coelom. Coelom means what? The true body cavity. The body cavity is the true in an annelidal organism. Means here we already learned about the coelomates, pseudocoelomates, and true coelomates in our previous sessions. Okay, here in the annelidan case, we observe the true body cavity. Means here the body wall and the gut cavity have the coelom. What is that, student? Coelom. Which type of coelom? Means true coelom. Okay, between the layer of mesoderm, due to the presence of true coelom, they are called true coelomates. Okay, here true coelom is presented between this gut wall and the body wall. So here the annelidan organisms are undergoes the coelomates. Okay, this entire coelom is divided into compartments. Which type, students? Compartments. Why we are using these compartments word? Means here we already discussed in the previous. What we'll discuss means here organism body is divided into segmented manner. Okay, so here body coelom also divided into compartments. Why? Because of presence of the septa. What is that? Septa is presented. So that's why here the coelom also divided into compartments. So the type of compartments is called as the type of coelom is called as schizocoelomates. What is that, students? Schizocoelomates. Okay, and another coelomate also we discussed in the previous. And then next, what about of locomotion? Okay, students, locomotion. Here, locomotion means what? The organism which travel from one place to another place. We using our legs and travel from one place to another place. But what about of annelids? Here annelidal locomotion also important. So here longitudinal and circular muscle in the body wall. Which type of the muscles we observe? Longitudinal and circular muscles we observe. And here we observe, for example, it is a skin of the annelidal organism. Here in the body wall or skin, we observe the three types of the layers. What are they? We will discuss. First of all, here this is the cuticle layer. Which one, students? Cuticular layer. Cuticular layer we will observe, and second one is the epidermis. What is that? Epidermis. And third one is the muscular layer. What is that, students? Muscular layer. First one is the cuticular layer, and second one is the epidermis, and third one is the muscular layer. Here cuticular layer is have a collagen fibers, that is different story, and epidermis have a single layered muscular we observe, and third one is the muscular layer. Here in the muscular layer we will observe this longitudinal and circular muscles. What will observe? The longitudinal and circular muscles are observed in these third layer. Which one? The muscular layer, which are used in the locomotion of the annelids. What is that? Locomotion of the annelids. Okay. The next, coelom with coelomic fluid provides a hydrostatic skeleton. What is the, student? Coelom with coelomic fluid provides a hydrostatic skeleton. Here hydro means what? The fluid. Here coelomic fluid is presented in the coelom. So that's why the type of skeleton is called as a hydrostatic skeleton. Why? What is the use of this hydrostatic skeleton? Means it gives the stiffness to the body. What is that? Stiffness to the body and give greater support to the body for the locomotion of the organisms. Okay. The next, the aquatic annelids such as knees possess a lateral appendages. Okay. This is also very, very important, students. The parapodia which is presented in the the annelids. Which type of annelids? The polychaetes means nereis-like structure. For example, this is a organism nereis. Here in lateral appendages, we will observe like this parapodia in their lateral appendages. Okay, we will observe like these structures which are used for the swimming. Okay, in the aquatic position, the locomotion is swimming. So here parapodia is used for the which type of the locomotion, students? Swimming. Okay. Okay, students. The next, chitinous seta and suckers also help in the locomotion. Okay, chitinous seta and suckers. Okay, students, you did not confuse about these. These words are very new for your study, but your better understanding we will discuss in a simple way. Okay, all of you, these chitinous setae and suckers also help in locomotion. Okay. Then next, the sepalization. What is that? Sepalization we already learned in our second chapter. What is sepalization? Here, the concentration of the sensory organs, concentration of the sensory organs at the anterior region is called as the sepalization. Okay, here the dystonic head and sense organs in some polychaetes. Okay, then next in the sense organic slide we will discuss about the sense organ. Okay, here dystonic head and sense organs in some polychaetes. This is all about the sepalization. Okay. Okay, students. Next, what about of the respiratory system? Respiratory system of the annelids. Here, the respiration is mainly by the diffusion. Which type of the respiration we will observe? The diffusion. Diffusion means what? We already learned in our lower classes also. What is diffusion? The spreading of the molecules one place to another place. Here also oxygen and carbon dioxide spread from. Here the aquatic annelids breathe through gills. Okay, this is also important. What is that? Aquatic annelids. Aquatic annelids breathe through the gills. Okay, for example, feather duster worms. Here some diffusion through the skin. This is also very important. Diffusion through the skin. Which type of skin, students? The skin must stay in the moisture. Okay, moisture condition. The skin must stay moisture. So this type of the respiration is called as the cutaneous respiration. What is that? Cutaneous respiration. Okay, here another important one. Class Polychaeta has specialized structures for gaseous exchange. That is called parapodia and gills. Okay, for example, nereis. Okay, in the nereis, the parapodia not only for the locomotion but also used for the respiration, means gases exchange. This is all about the respiration. The next, what about of digestion? We already developed digestive system we will observe in the pneumatic helminths, means tube within the tube organization. What is the, students? Tube within the tube organization. Means here tube within the tube organization means what? Here two openings is there for the mouth and posteriorly anus. Anteriorly mouth and posteriorly anus, means completed gut is presented. Completed gut is presented in the annelids also. Okay. The type of digestive system is called as a tube within the tube digestive system. And next, respiratory pigments. What is that? Respiratory pigments. Okay, here respiratory pigments also used for the transporting of the oxygen in our blood. Okay, so as well as here annelids also have a respiratory pigments. We have a hemoglobin, it carries the oxygen in the our blood. So here also annelids have respiratory pigments, most with dissolved blood pigments to carry oxygen. Here this is the very important. In the humans, the hemoglobin is presented in the red blood cells. We already know that's why blood in a red color. We already discussed in our lower classes. But here in the annelid case, the blood pigment, the hemoglobin is dissolved in the plasma. Which one? Dissolved in the plasma. So here hemoglobin, the red color, we already know iron is the center of the atom, most annelids, and hemerythrin also presented in the annelids. And here one word is there, chlorocrunin. What is that? Chlorocrunin means green. It is also iron, but color is green. Okay, this is also respiratory pigment in the annelids. Here, blood also contain amoeboid cells. Okay, amoeba structure. We know about the amoeba structure, the finger-like projection. Here also the amoeboid cells are presented in the blood for the engulfing of the foreign particles. Means the bacteria, virus are the also called as foreign particles. They the type of foreign particles are engulfing by these amoeboid cells, which are presented in the blood of annelid organism. Engulfing means smashing, the removing. Okay. The next, we are enter into the circulatory system. What is it, students? Circulatory system. Here, which type of the circulatory system we observe in the phylum Annelida means the closed circulatory system. What is that? Closed circulatory system. Here, circulatory system also two types. We already discussed what is that open type circulatory system and closed type circulatory system. Open type circulatory system means what, students? The blood does not flow into a it is freely floating on the body. The type of circulation is called open type. But here in annelid case, we observe here, all of you look into this picture, here blood vessels are shown. Okay, blood vessels are present. Blood flows into these blood vessels. So the system is called as closed circulatory system. Okay, here we have a means annelids have multiple hearts, means more than one heart is presented. In the humans, we already know a single heart is presented, 4 chambers is there. But in the annelid case, the multiple hearts are presented in different type of organisms. Here hemoglobin is not in blood cells. We already discussed it, dissolved in the plasma. Where hemoglobin is located in the annelid, students? Again repeated, where? In the plasma. Okay, reddish pink in color. Okay. This is all about the circulatory system of annelida. The next, we will enter into the excretory system of the annelida. What is that? Excretory system of annelida. Here, in the excretion mode, one pair of nephridia is presented. What is that major organ for the excretion designed for the annelidans? Means here nephridia. Here I can use metanephridia, and we have a different type of nephridias. We will discuss in the type study of earthworm. Here metanephridia is present, developed one. Which one? The developed one. So here also protonephridia, metanephridia, like the different nephridias are presented in the nephridian structure. Okay, in each segment, similar to that in molluscans. Okay, this is another phylum mollusca. We will discuss in later. A few polychaetes have protonephridia or both. Okay, here I can use protonephridia means the primitive structure, the primitive organ of the nephridia also presented in some polychaetes. Okay. Here, nephric tubule means nephrostome have a funnel-like opening into the previous segment. Which one, students? Funnel. You already know about the funnel, how it is presented. Garat. Okay, this funnel-like structure like this open into the another segment. We already know annelid body have a different segments and so many segments. So this funnel-like structure open into a another segments. Okay, the type of structure is called as a nephrostome. What is that? Nephrostome. and coiled ciliated tubule surrounded by the capillaries and also coiled ciliated tubule surrounded by the capillaries. And here, look into the picture. Here some bladder-like structure we observing. What is that, students? The bladder-like structure we will observe. Okay, so these bladder-like structure open in the sorry, these bladder-like structure. And next, nephridiopore. Pore means what? One hole. It open into the outsides for the elimination of the waste material. Some hole-like structure is presented, nephridiopore. This is open into the outside. Which one? Outside. Okay. Then next, we will observe the nervous system. What is that, student? Nervous system of the annelida. Here we can observe nervous system have a ladder shape. Ladder means what? The nichana. Okay, the ladder shaped pair of cerebral ganglia. Okay, here we can observe. This is the pair of cerebral ganglia. All of you look into the picture. Here cerebral ganglia is presented, double ventral nerve cord is presented. Okay, this paired ganglia means cerebral ganglia along with this nerve end connected with each other and coordinates the annelidal body. Okay, body coordination maintaining by the nervous system in any organism. But here also the annelids also have the nerve ring and cerebral ganglia which coordinate with each other and controls the body movements like. Okay, next to pair of ganglia in each segment. Here we can clearly observe the pair of ganglia is presented in the each segment. Okay, here this is very, very important. In previous years, we have the dissectioning for this nerve ring also. But you are the lucky, we did not have any these dissections in these recent years. Okay, then next, the sense organs. Okay, what is the, student? Sense organs. Sense organs are so very important. We already discussed in previous slide like cephalization. Here concentration of the sense organs at the head region we discussed. Okay, here which type of the sense organs we observe means these are the eyes and also palps and antennae or tentacles. Okay, these are the eyes. One pair of eyes are presented at the head region. This is the sense organ. And palps, okay, and antennae or tentacles also sense organs which are presented in the annelidal body for the sensory movements. Because the annelidal organisms are primitive ones, they did not develop like a chordates. So we have a brain and we have a knowledge for the understanding, but these organisms are the primitive ones. So here we observing the small structures like eyes, palms, tentacles, antennae, like that. So they are used for the sensory action. Next, then we will enter into the reproductive system of the annelids. What is the, students? Reproductive system, the generating system. Okay, here sexes may be separate. Okay, sexes are separate means dioecious. We already learned about this word. Dioecious means what? Means the male organism is separated, female organism is separated. So both organisms are there. For example, Nereis, here male Nereis is different, female Nereis is different. Okay, but are they may be united, means monoecious. Means here male genital organ, female genital organ is presented in the single organism. Means like earthworm, the earthworm has the male organs, genital organs and female genital organs. The type of organisms are called monoecious organisms. And then reproduction is sexual. What is that? Which type of reproduction we will observe? The sexual reproduction. Okay, the development is direct or indirect. Why we are using these words direct and indirect? What is the meaning of these? Direct development means the mother organism directly produce the adult organisms without any larval forms in the middle. The type of development is called direct development. And indirect development means what, students? Here we observe the summer larval forms in the life history. The type of development is called indirect development. Here, larva is trochophore larva. Which larva? Trochophore larva we observe in the annelidal organisms. Okay, this is the earthworm mutual exchange of the sperm material from one organism to another organism. Means one earthworm to another earthworm. Okay, in your minds, I think you have a doubt about this. Teacher, you already discussed it. What is that? Earthworm is a monoecious. Means it have a male organ and female organ. But why they are mutually exchange the sperm materials? What is the reason? Means here one important thing is there. Here the earthworms are shows the protandus stage. What is that? Protandus stage. This is also coming in your botany. Okay, like flowers. Here the organism protandus means here the sperm cells are mature before the ovum. Okay, the means male gametes are mature before the female gametes maturity. Okay, that's why they mutually exchange the sperm materials. Okay, here this is the one earthworm, this is the another earthworm. So here what will happen? The sperms are mature before the ovum is maturity, having to maturity. So the type of reason we observe the sexual reproduction in all annelids, even in case they are in the monoecious stage. Okay, this is all about the reproductive system. Then next we will enter into the classification of the phylum Annelida. What is that? Classification of the phylum Annelida. Here how many classes we observe? Means 3 classes we observe in the phylum Annelida. What are they? Means here the Polychaeta. Okay students, what is that? Polychaeta. Okay, Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, Hirudinea. What is that? Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, Hirudinea. These terms are new for your knowledge. So I can repeat again. Polychaeta, Oligochaeta and Hirudinea. What is that? Again repeat. Polychaeta, Oligochaeta and Hirudinea. Those are the classes which presented in the Annelidal phylum. Okay. The next we will enter into the each class. Okay. Here we observe the polychaetes and oligochaetes. Okay. What are the different? What are the similarities between them? We will observe. First of all, we will enter into the polychaeta. What is the students? The polychaeta. Here they are marine annelids. We are already discussed. Some of the annelidal organisms are in the where student marine. So here some of the polychaetes are live in the marine annelids with unsegmented swimming. What is the students? Unsegmented swimming appendages with many setae. Okay, here I again repeated. Here the marine annelids, polychaetes are the marine annelids with unsegmented swimming appendages with many setae. Okay, they all are belonging to the marine, but they did not have unsegmented swimming appendages like parapodia. Okay, we already discussed in that phase. Appendages with many setae. Okay, they include brazil worms. What are the example for the polychaete students? Brazil worm like Nereis. Next, they typically marine. They all are belonging to the marine form and have a well-developed head. Okay, they have the well-developed head. But in the case of oligochaetes, we did not observe the well-developed head. But here in the polychaetes, we observe the well-developed head. And next, have parapodia with many setae. Okay, parapodia with the many setae. Next, they are mainly free living. Free living means what? They did not depended on any other organisms. They're freely moving. Okay. Then they are the dioecious with temporary or seasonal gonads. Means dioecious means what? We already discussed in the reproduction. Okay. Male iris is separated. Female iris is separated. So here temporary or seasonal gonads. Temporary means what? In the only breeding season, the gonads are formed in these polychaetes. This is the important one. Where students, temporary or seasonal gonads. When the breeding season is come for these polychaetes, then they develop the zygonital gonads for the mutual exchange of sperm or ova. Okay. Here they undergo external sperm transfer and external fertilization. Okay, they undergo the external sperm transfer. Means outside of the body, the sperm is transferred. Okay, where not in a internal stage, means inside of the body. But here the external sperm transfer we will observe in the polychaetes, and external fertilization also. Here fertilization also two types. These are so important: external fertilization and internal fertilization. External fertilization means what? Where the male gamete and female gamete come meets into the outside. The type of fertilization is called as external fertilization. But here in the internal case, the sperm and ova meet into the inside of the body. The type of fertilization is called internal fertilization. Those are the different between the type of fertilization. Then next we will observe the oligochaetes. What is that? Oligochaetes. The hermaphroditic terrestrial or aquatic annelids that lack a specialized head. Okay. Here the hermaphroditic hermaphrodites means what? The male organism, sorry, the male organ, female organ of the genital organs are in the same organisms. They are the hermaphroditic. Here they are the terrestrial, means they are belonging to the land, and aquatic also. That lack of specialized head, but here in the polychaetes we observe the specialized head. Okay, but in the oligochaetes we did not observe the any specialized head. Okay, they include earthworms. What are the examples? Earthworms. Next, they live in both aquatic and terrestrial habitats. We already discussed, and have a less developed head. Means the no specialized distinct head are presented in these oligochaete organisms, and have free sitas with no parapodia. This is also important. Here we observe have a parapodia with many sitas, but here have a few sitas with no parapodia. That is the important one. Can be either free living, commensals or parasites. Here the type of mode also very important. Free living means they did not depend on any other organisms, and then commensals means they depended on the other organism, but the host organism did not get any benefit or loss. The type of situation is called commensalism, and they are the parasites. Maybe they depended on the other organisms, may cause harm to that host organism. The three type of living conditions we observe. Next, they are the monoecious with permanent gonads. What is the student? They are the monoecious with permanent gonads. But here, in the polychaete situation, we observe that they have a temporary or seasonal gonads we observe. But in the case of oligochaetes, we observe permanent gonads. Okay, means here the clitellum is presented in the earthworm. For example, it in lifelong structure for the earthworms, means it have a permanent gonads. Next, they undergo no external sperm transfer, but their fertilization occur in the clitellum or cocoon. What is the students? Clitellum or cocoon. They are not undergo any external fertilization, but their fertilization undergo, we will discuss in already discussed. What is that? Here clitellum is presented in the earthworm. The fertilization occur in that earthworm and form the cocoons. Next, we will observe the third class which belonging to the annelidan phylum, that nothing but the Hirudinea. What is the students? Hirudinea. Hirudo means what? The leech. What is that? Leech. Leech means jalaga. Okay. Here the Hirudinian organisms are the ectoparasites. Ectoparasites means what? The parasites which live in the external side of the host body. What is that? External side of the host body. They are the ectoparasites. We already discussed about the endoparasites. Okay, what is the endoparasites in the platyhelminthic phylum? They are living the inside of the host body, but the Hirudinea means they live in the external side of the host body. Next, live in freshwater and some marine and other live in a most land. Here the leeches show these so many diversity habitats, means they live in the freshwater and also marine water and also moisture land. Okay, then dorso-ventrally flat-ended body. The leeches shows the dorso-ventrally flat-ended body. Dorso means the dorsal side here. Dorsal side, and this is the ventral side for the organism. They are dorso-ventrally flat-ended body. Okay, we will observe. And here definite number of segments, means in the leeches that 33 segments are presented. The definite number is presented for the segments of these Hirudinea organisms. And then segments externally subdivided into annuli. This is also very important, student. Externally subdivided by annuli. Okay, internal segmentation is opposite, but in the case of the nereis, we will observe the internal segmentation also, externally and internally. But here internal segment is absent in the Hirudinea. Okay, and the locomotion by the suckers. Okay, all of you look into the picture. Here leech is attached by the sucker into the one leaf. The type of attachmenting organs are called suckers. What is that? Suckers unto billalu. Okay, next the clitellum. Conspicuous during the breeding season. Okay, in the presence of the breeding season, the clitellum is presented. Coelom is filled with the characteristic tissue, botryoidal tissue. Okay, this is the very important. Botryoidal tissue is presented in the leeches. It have a grape-like bunch of grape-like structure in brownish color, which are used for the elongation and also used for the excretion of the leeches. What is the student? Excretion of the leeches. And they are the monoecious. Sorry. Monoecious means what, students? We already discussed. And they have a male reproductive system with copulatory organ with Tsrjc. What is that? Tsrjc. Male reproductive organ, the copulation, when the meet into the sexually, the male organ is Tsrjc. And fertilization is internal, means inside the body. Fertilization is internal. Development is direct, means they did not show any larval forms. Okay, you can observe in this picture, this is the freshwater leech Hirudinaria. What is that? Hirudinaria, the freshwater leech, and it is a marine water leech, means where it located? In the oceans. Okay, it is a land leech. What is the, student? Land leech. Here it is a freshwater and marine water and land leech. Okay, here shows these so many diversity between these type of organisms. Okay, here the scientific names also presented for this organism. Pontabdella, the marine leech, and Hemapsida, land leech. Okay, student. Here those are the Hirudinian general character. This is also very important for your 4 marks question. Okay, here they are the ectoparasites, and here they are the botryoidal tissue is presented in the leeches. This is also 2 marks question. Very, very important. What is botryoidal tissue? Means the grape-like structures which are presented inside the leech body, which are used for the excretion of the leeches. Okay, the next. Once again repeat, how many classes are presented in the annelidan phylum? 3 classes. What are that? Polychaetes, oligochaetes, Hirudinea. Okay, the next last one, the assignment. What is that? What is metamerism? It is a 2 marks question which is important for your IPE examination. Next, what are the silent features exhibited by polychaetes? Means general characters of the polychaetes. This is a 4 marks question important for IPE. Next, what is botryoidal tissue? This is also